everything is a playground. Everything is a classroom. That's how we should live. That's how I pursued life. That's what I saw in Prince. That's what I see in Beyoncé. That's a freedom we should come to know. To be your whole self, your whole amazing, unapologetically excellent self. In the beginning was rhythm, and that was my heartbeat, and I was in existence thanks to my cool parents. But the beginning of music actually started through dance. I used to tap dance and do ballet and jazz dance in elementary school. So that, I think, would be the activation of the rhythm.
Pass the beats up like we used to say. Pass the beats, pass the beats. What? Come on.
In 9th grade, I started in the marching band. It wasn't really cool to be in beginner's band in 8th grade. Waited to 9th grade, got in the marching band 9th and 10th grade, became section leader by the 10th grade, which I think has to do with just mentorship and always being open to help my peers and learn and compete and execute. So I was always in competition with myself. I was never really directly in competition with people, except to learn what they knew and then to be better at me. Life is this rhythm of upbeats and downbeats, I always say, blended delicately with sound and silence. So you have great moments in life and then you have these downbeats. And the idea with music is if you can continue, not with too much sound, because that's noise, and not with too much silence, because life doesn't exist if there's too much silence. In one of my upbeats, which was graduating from high school as valedictorian, my mother passed away the month before I graduated. So it's just kind of this amazingness, and then whew, life changed. And so I could go anywhere in Texas for free as valedictorian at that time. And I chose to go to Howard University and just kind of get my footing on life and self-identity and that sort of thing. And I became a music performance major, and I had great access and opportunity to play more percussion, classical percussion, drum set, marimba, timpani, xylophone, chimes, everything. I was the first female drum captain of the Howard University marching band, so that was awesome and amazing. And just the Howard University community and my peers just embraced me in that time. And so it's like, even if I could go back and change things, I wouldn't. People ask, like, how do you go from this point to this point? But it's sort of this seamless thread of faith, planning, preparing, and relationships. When I was at Howard, I would go to lunch with different alumni that my jazz band director or my marching band director would have in town, and they would come on campus just to say hi, and I would just kind of sit and be this little fly on the wall to hear like what the professional experience was and all of that. I learned a lot, decided to move to Los Angeles because I felt like home will always be there. But my first day in LA, I was like, I'm getting an LA Weekly, I'm gonna meet people, I'm gonna network, I'm gonna connect and play as many styles as I can. So I go to Universal City Walk, there's a BB King's, and it was a Sunday, and I was like, I'm gonna sit in, I'm gonna meet people. It wasn't a jam session at all. It was just a band that was playing. They were awesome. There weren't a lot of people in the audience. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna be present. I'm gonna just enjoy the moment. You know, when you go to LA, they say, well, you know, be careful because you might meet people, strange people or whatever, but just stay the course. So that evening, this guy comes around, he's like, hey, I know you. And I'm thinking, I just got here, like this morning. So I'm thinking he can't know me. But we started talking and he's like, Fred Irby, Howard University. We went to lunch together. And I was like, yeah, on the opposite side of the country, at Universal City Walk, BB King's, I meet this guy. It was Lan Richards, drummer. He ordered food and he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to play, I want to teach. Definitely want to tour. He's like, okay, great, well, my food is here, so go sit in. So I'm like, okay. So I sit in, and then that guitar player calls me Tuesday to play with him on Friday at somebody named Alma's house. Phil Upchurch is the guitar player. And I'm thinking, I don't know who Al McKay is. It's a lady, maybe just a gig. It ended up being Al McKay, the founding member of Earth, Wind & Fire. It's his wife's birthday party. And from that night, from that Sunday, from lunch with my professor, I ended up playing with Phil Upchurch for 3 years. Then one time I was playing with Frank McCone, and Prince came to hear me play. He came to hear me with Rochelle Farrell at this club in LA. His bodyguard came up and was like, hey, Prince is here. He wants to meet you, he wants to say hello. So go over after in between the set and chat with him, really listen, more than chatting. And he's just spitting wisdom about Jill Scott and quality of music and all of this. And he's like, it's great chatting with you. And I was like, well, I gotta go play. Maybe I'll see you again. And then his assistant ended up coming up and it's like, hey, Prince wants to buy you the drum set of your dreams. He wants me to get your contact. And just from that was the activation of the next level. 5.5 years in the Super Bowl, and then 3 years with Beyoncé and being her band leader, and then lots of television shows with other artists. The Black Girls Rock Award show was a great opportunity to play with Jill Scott and Mary J. Blige and Sierra and a bunch of amazing artists. And so it just kept raising visibility. And spending time with Prince, I would definitely say, further activated my entrepreneurial mind. Seeing how multifaceted Prince was huge, and he just kind of gave me permission to be the rest of myself. That you don't have to be in a lane of genre, you can be all of you. You don't have to just do music. You can love art, you can love philanthropy, you can change people's understanding of a color. And that exploded in my mind of what could be. I've launched a magazine, Drum Throne International Magazine, understanding that the industry needs tools and resources and conversations that are, yes, about equipment, but also about mental health, physical health, and how we're eating and how we're taking care of ourselves and how we're caring for ourselves, that sort of thing. So it's been these, almost like a track in music, like you have the intro, you have the verse, you have these markers. So I've had some significant markers that have just allowed me to launch forward in the entertainment industry. My relationship with Ludwig Musser, it's different. It's heritage, it's innovation, it's tone and synergy. It's powerful. It's about community and relationship. That speaks volumes. I love great gear, and great gear is important. And great gear is an extension of you. Excellent equipment is almost like a default, like it should be. So we care about tone, and we care about the way we tune the instruments, and we care about the process of how the instrument is developed. But then they also care about education, and they care about building community and building people. And if you build people, and you build great mindful people, and then you partner that with legacy, long-standing legacy that impacts not just what you're doing, but the community at large, the way they approach the development of an instrument. You care about creating new things and keeping the market engaged and inspired. You evolve with technology, that's important. But the synergy is also incredible.
Turn the lights down low. Boy, don't you move that phone.
For me, having experiences with people like Prince and Beyoncé and world changers, it's inspiring for me to say, okay, well, how do I want to make an impact on the world through my art and through the craft of music that lives longer than me? People are passionate about maintaining and preserving, and that is the Ludwig Musser, Conselmer, Steinway experience. It is that level of intention and joy, it's not an obligation for them, it's a way of life. I love that kind of partnership, and then we see business the same way, and they're interested in supporting all of me.
Feel better, feel good, feel wonderful.
A big part of the activation of my relationship with Ludwig Musser came through the relationship with Aaron Spears. And I've been friends with Aaron since my freshman year at Howard. When he first started the Basement, and before we did any DVDs together and all of that, we were just practicing our signatures and hoping that it mattered to somebody and just trying to be good at our craft. Fast forward later into life, and he's just like, I'm in a space that's a good space. And I think you would appreciate that space. What I've appreciated about the Ludwig Musser family is the continued honor of his legacy. Aaron Spears brought to drumming what Michael Jordan brought to basketball. Easy. I'm excited to be a part of maintaining his legacy, and they have been very intentional to maintain that, and I think that's a big deal. If I could give advice to established or aspiring creatives, I would say be patient, study your craft, have fun, get your passport and explore, understand your business. I think that's very, very important, because that's part of what gives us joy when we're not worried about life. Prince always said, in concert, I am here, where are you? Or we are here, where are you? Even working with Dave Chappelle, same thing. It's like, be present. Yes, capture the moment and say, oh, this was great. But don't stand there the whole time and capture the moment while you're in the moment. Just be there, because there are times where you lose access to people and they lose access to you, and if you were just in the moment, that is where the power is, and in the heartbeats connected in real time, sharing space. So I would definitely encourage us, we the people, to be present, and everything else will work out. It always does.